Hello everybody, it is Dr. Steve back with another episode of Core Wellness TV. Today is the Why You Have to Get in Shape to Get in Shape episode. Okay, this all came about when Rebecca sent me an email this morning showing me, giving me a link to the doctor's TV show where she saw where they were doing some exercises on the beach and wanted me to take a look at them. When I saw them, I was appalled. And most people wouldn't be appalled. They would think, they're doing push-ups and they're doing squats and they're doing pull-ups, right? No big deal. But oh my goodness, these, especially the one of the doctors was just injuring himself, and I could see it. I could see the damage happening to his body, and I'm just afraid that people are going to start doing these things because the TV doctors are telling you to do them, but they're doing them incorrectly. And people are getting injured because of that, and that becomes frustrating, right? Because you get out there, you want to start doing fitness, but you start doing, people start running, right? Well, guess what? You have to learn how to run before you start to run, or else you're going to injure yourself down the line. You have to know how to put your body together, and most people, because of stress and all the postures of modern society, we're all out of balance. Our shoulders are out of balance, our hips are out of balance, our core is weak, our feet our arches are falling, all of these things. And it makes for tissue damage when you start to move your body under heavy loads, which we do with fitness. So my goal for you today is to teach you a few simple strategies so you can do these push-ups, pull-ups, and squats correctly. The first thing is they said, okay, let's start with some push-ups, all right? And I'm going to demonstrate what the incorrect push-up looked like, and then I'm going to show you what you can work on to do correct push-ups. A lot of people have no business doing push-ups, but I'm going to show you what they did. Okay, so they dropped to the ground, right? And here they go. They say down, push-up, and I'll post it down below so you can see. And whenever they came down, I'm going to do the one incorrectly. He went like this, okay? You see that? How my shoulders are up into my ears? That is a damaging pattern, guys. Now, it may give you, but most people have all of their strength up here because those muscles are overused and they're using those muscles all the time. And they have really weak muscles for the shoulder blades they have weak muscles in the muscles that pull the shoulder blades down and back. So a more proper look of that is to be able to go down and be able to keep your shoulder blades anchored down, because as soon as they drive up, that will overload your neck, and usually that push-up also looks like this, with the head poked forward, and that's very damaging to not only the shoulders but also to the cervical spine, and people wonder why they get neck pain whenever they start to exercise. Okay, so one of the ways you can start the process of learning how to do that correctly is, first of all, see if you can just hold a plank on your knees with your shoulder blades down, okay? Becoming aware. Matter of fact, what you can do is you can bring your shoulders up and then bring them down. Sometimes you have to go the opposite direction before you can understand what's the correct direction, okay? And again, if you leave your neck out here, you're going to be in trouble. So it's deep neck flexion and shoulder blade retraction, not retraction, excuse me, shoulder blade depression. Shoulder blades go into your back pockets. And just doing that, most people, like I said, have no business doing push-ups because they're not even aware of how those muscles work. Okay? So just practice that maneuver. Just take your elbows, drive your elbows down, and feel what that feels like. Because if you don't, like I said, you get no business doing push-ups. But if you can hold that position, then you start by just doing little dips, right? Little dips. Just like that until you can make it all the way down. Another thing that you can start to do is actually get on the floor in what is the beginning of a yoga chaturanga position, and get your thumbs just right around your nipple line, and just practice driving your hand heel into the floor like you're getting ready to lift up and off, and you can feel the shoulder blades going back and down, just like so. And then, eventually, you can go ahead and come up and do a push-up from that position. So those are some ideas. Another idea with push-ups is to actually do them on a slant board. If you have an old door like in the garage or something, or an old sheet of plywood, actually put up a slant board and bring the floor to you, and then you can practice doing push-ups without all of the weight of your body. And that will help you correct the form, and then you can eventually start taking that slant board further and further down until you can do it on the flat ground. That's the push-up. So keep your elbows out of your ears, okay? And try some of those strategies. Next, what was it? The squat. Oh my gosh, yeah. Here was the incorrect squat. So that the exercise was to squat down, jump up. Okay, great exercise. I love that exercise. But here's what it looked like. Squat down. And I could tell that he had no business doing a squat because he couldn't keep his tail out and his back flat. You have to be able, if you're going to do a squat, you got to be able to keep your back flat, because that is the worst position to load your back. And you see that rounding in my back right there? Boom. And usually, again, what comes with that is a neck forward, shoulder, or head forward position like this. Boom. And then so you overload your neck, you overload the discs in your back, then you're injured a month or two down the line, or maybe a week or two, however long it takes. And then you're down, and then you're sidelined. You can't do anything. Then you're stressed, and you start eating, and you're frustrated, and you say, oh, there I go again, right? Every time I exercise, I hurt myself. You have to get in shape to get in shape. You have to learn these fundamental processes of reversing all of these stress-induced muscle imbalances of cross-posture syndrome before you start into fitness. Please, okay? I beg you, do this first. That's the program we have set up, and that's what it's all about. So that's the squat. So all we're doing is making sure that we can get our tail out, right? So just practicing that. You know, if you have to, get up next to a wall and reach back and bump the wall. Bump the wall. Bump the wall. Keep your neck tall. You see, stay out of this, right? Bump the wall. Bump the wall, okay? And then you go deeper and deeper, and then sure, you can jump up and get some aerobic fitness out of that. So that's the other big piece. And also from the front, whenever you squat down, you want to make sure somebody's watching you and your knees aren't going in like this, because your knees need to track over your feet so you don't injure your hips, knees, and low back, okay? And that sometimes also starts with a fallen arch. It kind of sets the whole thing in motion inside. And so sometimes it's, you don't know where to start. Sometimes it's a matter of getting your arch activated first. Okay, that's one of the simple exercises we teach in the course, is the arch activator system. There's all kinds of things in that course that can help you do this stuff. Do this first. Pull-ups, okay. And what they did was they went up to the lifeguard stand. They were in LA on the beach. And they tried to pull themselves up on top of the lifeguard stand. They grabbed onto the ceiling and pulled themselves up. First of all, if you're a beginner, you probably don't want to start with a chin up. You want to start with something where you can work on a pull up. Because again, we want to work on that pull down system, because when we go here, we're automatically going to do this. See that? And that's what this guy looked like. And again, I'll post that down below so you can see the video. But so how do you start with pull-ups? Well, the way I like to start is I like to just grab on and hang, and then simply, again, there's a tendency to go boink and your neck to pop out, so stay tall and long, is to hang and then just do torso ups. You see that? And all I'm doing is I am activating my lower trapezius, my serratus anterior, all these muscles that drop my shoulder blade down, because that's the strength, that's the anchor that you have to have strong. Before you even start to do an actual pull-up and use your biceps, you have to get strong and centered here. You have to create the anchor. Boom. So practicing, getting on, and then just I'll try and mimic it here. It's kind of hard if I don't have a bar. Okay? So that's what it looks like. And really, you're just kind of making your neck come out real long. And you want to do it where you don't feel strain up high in your upper trapezius and all these shoulder shrug muscles. We use those too much anyway. Well, I hope that helped you, hope that served you. Just focus on these exercises and they will serve you, and you will have less pain and more energy and less frustration whenever you start into your exercise programs. And be aware and be cautious. Take all TV doctors' information in with a grain of salt. Do your research, and if you have a question, you can just ask me, and I'll let you know what I think. All right? See you guys later. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.